So these were the soldiers stay. Oo eh.
But occasionally, if I can't take you home in the car, I've got to saddle you up and ride you. You're not a big guy, I hope.
Let's send them out to Really? Emily?
Yeah, video to video.
Meron pa, kunyari nagmamahining kayo. Testing sila. Kunyari, iba sila ng
loob.
Iba ito lang naman.
Hindi, meron yan.
Meron yan dyan?
Oo, meron yan.
Saan niya may bayad yan?
Pero hindi nila kukunin yan.
The Chinese diggers. Look at their clothes.
Yeah.
£1 every 2 months, and only after 10 years have to pay.
Here, the petition was also signed by Europeans,
They're not just merchants who are interested in our money,
but churchmen and councillors.
and Forster himself.
Let's hope it's successful.
We are in trouble.
Tabi ka dito ma, tabi ma. Dito ka.
Buy bandos. Not fortunate, but are there any artists in the audience? Alright, just safe, there's barriers between us. What is the difference between a blacksmith and an artist? When it works from a blacksmith.
Wow, yeah. Smells so good. Yeah, it smells good.
Good morning, my name is Patrick Duffy. I am a trooper here on the goldfield. One thing you must know about the troopers, we are not nice people. I'm not your friend. Alright, before we get going, I do need to check within the audience there aren't any corrupt policemen. Any corrupt police?
I'm a lawyer.
That's well below the food chain. No, I'm alright. I'm the only corrupt policeman here then. This is a story of corruption, greed and violence. That's my job. I like my job. You folks, I know to get you to move forward. The horses will be coming around the corner on a regular basis. If you stay there, you'll get a good view, but it will be your last.
Oh.
Alright. So yes, the troopers are corrupt on the goldfields. I'll tell you my story before I make the stick go bang. Alright? The story doesn't start in 1851 when the gold was discovered. It starts before that. It doesn't start in 1835 when the British colonialists came across. It starts before that. In fact, it starts thousands of years ago with the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation. Always will be, always were, the caretakers of this beautiful land. And they looked after and cared for the land. They cleared it with fire sticks, cultural clearing. And they generated growth in this area. And that plant life could be used for food, sometimes for fabrics. It also brought certain wildlife to the region. Those animals that they brought to the region through this new plant growth could be used for food, their pelts, for shelter. They cared and looked after the land. 1835, the British colonialists came. They did not see beautifully cleared land. They saw potential sheep farming. Can I get you folks off the road, off the corner, please? The horses will flatten you. 1835, British colonialists, they saw sheep farming. They went back to England, they brought over two forms of cargo. Sheep, convicts. I'll talk more about the convicts in a minute. So this whole region from 1835 was sheep farming. There was only about 3,000 people in the entire area. 1851, an Irishman, much like myself, picks up a hunk of gold. Any Irish here? I'm about to do a bad Irish accent. Oh, look at this! I found gold, he said. I'm going to be rich. Ha ha ha! I'm going to keep it a secret, he said. But, being a true Irishman, he went to the pub and told everyone. So it started the gold rush, and it truly was a rush. People rushed here from all over the world, all throughout Australia, all from New Zealand, from England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, the Americas, Europe. 3,000 people in 1851, 1853, 35,000 people. In 2 years, can you imagine what it did to that beautiful landscape? 1855, 2 more years, we're up to 57,000 people in this entire region. All fueled by greed, all looking for gold. Different religions, different nationalities, but most importantly, different political views. It was chaos. And so the government does what all governments do during chaos. They panic. We need a police force, said the commissioner, the gold commissioner. Lived here, worked there, overlooking the goldfields. First of all, they tried using an indigenous police force. But due to language and cultural barriers, they ended up being basically gold escort duties. So the commissioner goes, I know where there are people, Melbourne town. We'll bring the police down from Melbourne town. At that time, 40 police in Melbourne. After that, 38 of them came down here to enforce the law. They would sit in a little pouch, riding along, pull it out, bang. We're very good at naming things on the goldfields. This is called a two-band carbine. Two bands, because it has one, two bands holding the stock to the barrel and the lock here. So you may have heard the phrase lock, stock and barrel. That's where this comes from. That's black and it's powder. Too easy. This is a black powder pouch because it's a pouch that holds the black powder. We're very simple people on the goldfields here. This has a little valve on it like this, so I can measure out exactly the right amount every time. All right? Oh, let's open it and then close it before I turn it back up. And you can see the black powder. You want to see the black powder? That's on the end there. All right. See, that's the little black powder there. All right. And we put the black powder down the barrel, like that. Now, it is very important, however, you don't ever put more than just one load in. Did you see the black powder? If you put more than one load in, things get really dangerous. All right? So it's super important that you never, ever, under any circumstances, put any more than one load in. Any more than one load, things get dangerous. One of the problems on the goldfields, there are three types of people. Those that can count and those that can't. We now have black powder down the barrel. Now, we would put one of these in, a little lead slug. It's starting now not like a red ball, it's starting to look more like a bullet. And I would put that down there. However, this is big, this is heavy, it will have velocity. What goes up must come down, unless you have a mortgage. So instead of that, I'm going to use some tissue paper. Off the road! That's a whole nother show over there. So I'm going to put this tissue paper down. We call it wadding. You can use pretty much anything. You could use pretty much some bark, stuff from the back of a horse. Wouldn't want that too dry because it just goes poof. Or you wouldn't want it too wet. Wants to be just right. Now what I need to do is ram that down. So for that, attached to my gun, I have a rod for ramming. It's called a ramrod. And I just ram that down and start pounding it down. The thing to remember here, you know it's ready to fire when the ramrod starts bouncing. That means it's nice and tightly packed. Once it starts bouncing, that's your time to stop. Don't ever keep going, because otherwise things just get way too dangerous. All right? That's probably enough. It's attached to the gun here, so I don't drop it while I'm on horseback, because I need to reload it. All right? The other thing that is really important is to remember to take that out. It has been known that they leave that in there sometimes. It's called a top hat percussion cap. This has got a little formula in there that when it's struck will cause a spark. It's called a top hat because it looks like a little miniature top hat. And what I will do is place it on the nipple of the gun here. When that hammer fires down, that will create a spark. That spark travels down that little tube, ignites the black powder. The only way it can come is out here. All right? Now, before I fire this off, folks, it behooves me to warn you that the noise emanating from this carbine will be somewhat voluminous in nature. So it is advisable to place your digits firmly but gently in your auricular orifice. It's going to be loud. Put your fingers in your ears. All right, folks, fingers in ears. This will be loud. Are there any horses coming? No, we're good. On the count of 3, folks. 1, 2. I do need to remind you, however, that once I've fired this, a good infantryman or a good trooper can reload within 20 seconds. So, clap or else. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think I hit a cockatoo. Ladies and gentlemen, treat every day as if it was your last. One day, you're going to be right. Thank you very much.
Is William Tregenza. So please listen very carefully to William's instructions. Do not climb up that ladder till William tells you to, and don't go running off into any dark tunnels, all right? Goes for 12 minutes. It's a nice comfortable 17 degrees underground, and no flash photography or bright lights please. It does interfere with the cameras and I need to see where you are. Tall people with caps on, I would recommend that you turn around the other way and look cool for 12 minutes because you're going to duck underneath a couple of beams and that peak won't show you the last beam and you'll knock yourself out.
Going underground. We'll go mining.
Nearest ladder, climb it. We're taking a little walk. Up the ladder, all of you, and into drive. Come on, climb ladder, lads. He's strong and safe. Follow me. Come on. You sink the shaft down below the river to drain the water into the sump where the pump is. See, mining is done across riverbed in tunnels about 30 inches wide. When you timber,
May tubig dyan, no?
Right, B, come on. Hardship will be over before you know it.
Yung tao doon.
Yung tao doon. Hologram.
I can't believe it sometimes. Me, a Cornishman, working in wet, stinking deep meat. Did nothing like this back home in Cornwall. £10,000, David! £10,000! We're all right! Enough money for us to be called gentlemen in Ballarat! Oh, say, you're it, Jeffrey! Gentlemen, yes!
Ballarat's gold yield had seriously declined, and the discovery of this spectacular nugget provided welcome relief, so it was named the Welcome Nugget. For sovereigns, today it would be worth millions of dollars. You may now walk to the end of this tunnel and exit the mine.
Okay. We are here.
Cool? Yeah. It stays like that all year round, so when we've had the 40-degree temperatures and like on Boxing Day I think it's going to be 40 again, down there will be 17.
Wow.
So that's where we like to be on the very hot days. 2, 4, 6, 8. Hey, everyone came back up. Well done.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest
Okay.
of the day, folks. Perfect weather for it.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome along to the 12 o'clock here in Ballarat. Silver and copper in our gold. My job is to mine blacksmith, working for the mine. I don't work down the mine, I work for the mine, and my job is to get rid of those impurities, to turn it into 24 karat gold, the best possible gold we can get. Now Ballarat's gold is already very, very good quality. Our gold is 22 karat. Now 22 karat gold is about 92% gold and the rest is made up of silver and copper. My aim turned into 24 by removing the silver and the copper. The reason we do this is to increase the value of the gold, to make it better quality so we can sell it for more. The way we do it, quite simple. Gold is very, very recyclable, very, very easy to purify. Take it up to a temperature where it melts. When it's in liquid form, you can remove the silver and the copper. Then you're left with nothing but gold. And that's what we call 24 karat. Before I can do this, the gold has to be found. Now, I have the best job in the company. Alright. Here's the mould we're about to pour into. That's big enough to make a 100-ounce gold bar. The gold in the crucible has just become a liquid. Yep, right now. Which means I've got about 10 more seconds.
do want to take photos or footage, you've got that amount of time to get your devices ready. Go. This is gold at about 1,200 degrees. As soon as that gold hits the mould, it starts to cool down incredibly fast. Gold loses its heat very, very quickly, if it can. It needs to touch something though. Right now it's touching the mould, so all the heat from the mould going straight in, straight from the gold, going straight into the mould. And we've already dropped to 300 degrees. Already. Absolutely solid. But it's still incredibly hot. If you were to touch that, it would melt your hand off. Because those 900 degrees would transfer straight into your fingers, just like they do my wooden stick. Stick can't handle that. Instant fire. The gold cools very quickly, we've seen it. 900, well, 300 degrees we lost within seconds. Now, it's going to take 3 hours because it's not touching anything, can't get rid of its heat. Unless we give it something to touch. Like some cold water.
Really, really hot, and the water is really, really cold.
Just like that. The gold is safe to touch. The water doesn't even get hot. It's cold. The gold boils the water.
What do you